Columbus Day, a federal holiday in the United States, stands as a complex and increasingly debated observance, marking Christopher Columbus's arrival in the Americas in 1492. This day, once a straightforward celebration of exploration and discovery, has evolved into a profound reflection on history, heritage, and the enduring impact of colonization on indigenous populations. The genesis of a holiday, celebrating exploration and discovery. For centuries, Christopher Columbus was hailed as a pioneering figure, a brave navigator whose voyages opened up new worlds and connected continents. His arrival in the Americas on October 12, 1492, was traditionally taught as the discovery of the New World, a pivotal moment that reshaped global history. This narrative emphasized European ingenuity, courage, and the spirit of adventure, often overlooking the pre-existing civilizations and the profound consequences of European contact. The formal recognition of Columbus Day as a holiday in the United States gained traction in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, largely driven by Italian-American communities. For these immigrants, Columbus, an Italian explorer sailing under the Spanish flag, became a powerful symbol of ethnic pride and a testament to their contributions to American history. In an era when Italian immigrants often faced discrimination, celebrating Columbus was a way to assert their place in the national fabric, demonstrating that an Italian figure had played a foundational role in the nation's origins. This movement culminated in President Franklin D. Roosevelt declaring Columbus Day a federal holiday in 1937, solidifying its place in the American calendar. The day was intended to foster national unity, celebrate a shared historical legacy of exploration, and honor the contributions of diverse immigrant groups. Parades, festivities, and educational programs became common traditions, particularly in cities with large Italian-American populations. These celebrations often featured floats depicting Columbus's ships, historical reenactments, and community gatherings, all designed to commemorate a journey that irrevocably altered the course of human events. The focus remained squarely on the achievements of Columbus and the subsequent development of the Americas, framing the era as one of progress and opportunity. Shifting tides, reevaluating the narrative. However, as historical scholarship advanced and societal perspectives broadened, the celebratory narrative surrounding Columbus Day began to face increasing scrutiny. What was once seen as a heroic discovery started to be reevaluated through the lens of those who were already living on the continent. The arrival of Columbus and subsequent European colonization led to devastating consequences for indigenous populations, including the introduction of diseases against which they had no immunity, widespread violence, enslavement, and the systematic destruction of their cultures and ways of life. This critical re-examination brought to light the immense suffering and displacement experienced by Native Americans. Historians and activists began to challenge the romanticized portrayal of Columbus, pointing to his own records and those of his contemporaries that documented brutality towards the Taino people of the Caribbean. The term discovery itself became problematic, implying that the land was empty and devoid of human civilization before European arrival, effectively erasing millennia of indigenous perspectives and vibrant cultures. The push for a more accurate and inclusive understanding of history gained momentum, particularly during the Civil Rights era and beyond. Native American activists and their allies argued that celebrating Columbus Day was tantamount to celebrating genocide and oppression. They highlighted that for indigenous peoples, October 12 marked the beginning of centuries of colonization, loss, and struggle, rather than a cause for celebration. This evolving understanding underscored the need to acknowledge the full scope of history, including its painful and uncomfortable truths, rather than perpetuating a one-sided narrative. A day of dual meanings. Celebration and commemoration. Today, Columbus Day embodies a profound duality, representing different things to different people. For many Italian Americans, it remains a cherished day of ethnic pride, a connection to their heritage, and a celebration of the contributions of their ancestors to the American tapestry. They see Columbus as a symbol of perseverance and the immigrant spirit, and the holiday as an affirmation of their identity within a multicultural nation. To them, stripping away Columbus Day feels like an attack on their cultural identity and a dismissal of their historical struggles and triumphs. Conversely, for indigenous communities and their allies, the day is a painful reminder of colonization, land dispossession, and the profound injustices inflicted upon their ancestors. They view the celebration of Columbus as insensitive and disrespectful, a perpetuation of historical inaccuracies that continue to marginalize their experiences. For these groups, the day should be one of mourning, reflection, and a commitment to rectifying historical wrongs, rather than a joyous observance. This stark contrast highlights the deep divisions that the holiday now represents, making it a focal point for broader conversations about historical memory and social justice. The ongoing debate reflects a national struggle to reconcile conflicting historical narratives and to create a more inclusive understanding of American identity. It forces communities to confront uncomfortable truths about the nation's origins and to consider how historical events are remembered and honored, particularly when those memories are fraught with pain for a significant portion of the population. The cultural significance of the day is thus deeply contested, mirroring the broader cultural wars playing out across society. The call for change. Indigenous Peoples' Day. In response to the growing awareness of the holiday's problematic nature, a powerful movement has emerged to replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples' Day. This initiative seeks to shift the focus from a controversial figure to the original inhabitants of the land, honoring their resilience, diverse cultures, and enduring contributions. The first official observance of Indigenous Peoples' Day was in Berkeley, California, in 1992, coinciding with the 500th anniversary of Columbus's arrival. Since then, the movement has gained significant momentum. Numerous cities, counties, and states across the U.S. have officially recognized Indigenous Peoples' Day, either by replacing Columbus Day entirely or by observing it concurrently. These include states like South Dakota, Alaska, Oregon, and New Mexico, along with major cities such as Seattle, Denver, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. The rationale behind this change is multifaceted. It aims to acknowledge the historical injustices faced by Native Americans, to celebrate their vibrant cultures and contributions, and to promote a more accurate and respectful understanding of history. It also serves as a step towards reconciliation and healing, providing a platform for Indigenous voices to be heard and their heritage to be honored. The movement for Indigenous Peoples' Day challenges the very notion of a national holiday that commemorates a figure associated with immense suffering for an entire group of people. Proponents argue that replacing Columbus Day is not about erasing history, but about correcting it and ensuring that all voices and experiences are recognized and valued. It's about shifting from a narrative of discovery to one of encounter and acknowledging the complex, often tragic, consequences that followed. This transition reflects a broader societal desire to move towards a more equitable and just historical memory. Navigating the future. Dialogue and reconciliation. The ongoing controversy surrounding Columbus Day is a microcosm of larger societal debates about how we confront our past, acknowledge historical injustices, and build a more inclusive future. It highlights the challenge of reconciling different historical narratives and the deeply personal nature of heritage and identity. For some, the day is a non-negotiable celebration of a historical figure and an ethnic legacy. For others, it is a painful reminder of oppression that demands reevaluation and change. Navigating this complex landscape requires open dialogue, empathy, and a willingness to engage with multiple perspectives. It's an opportunity for education, allowing communities to learn about the full scope of history, including the pre-Columbian civilizations and the devastating impact of colonization. Rather than simply celebrating or protesting, the day can become a moment for critical reflection on the origins of the nation, the ongoing struggles of indigenous peoples, and the responsibilities we hold towards a more just future. Ultimately, the evolving discussion around Columbus Day is a testament to a society grappling with its past and striving to define its values for the future. It prompts us to consider how we choose to remember, what we choose to celebrate, and whose stories we prioritize in our national narrative. As communities continue to debate and redefine this day, how do you believe we can best honor history while promoting reconciliation and understanding for all?